Need high-quality video to promote your event, business, or band? We can help.
We're Pixel Pond, a video production team based in the Pacific Northwest, providing high-quality content to clients across the U.S. and Canada.
Whether you want coverage of your live event to promote for next year, or need a camera and a camera operator for your next big project, we can accommodate projects of all sizes.
Your story is important. Visit pixelpondllc.com or send an email to info@pixelpondllc.com to get started today. We can't wait to work with you.
Parental warning. This podcast contains references to alcohol, pornography, pegging, nudes, OnlyFans, adult-only games, and the Old Purple Home Wrecker salute. And it pretty much starts right now. Please podcast responsibly.
Coming up on Gamers Week podcast. Video games are losing the attention war to gambling, porn, and crypto, according to a new industry report. For example, in 2025, American consumers spent roughly $5 billion on OnlyFans. Sports betting is booming, and U.S. consumption of TikTok is up 39 million hours a day compared to pre-COVID figures.
That's the one I don't get, but I won't get into that.
You don't get OnlyFans?
You pay to go on a site just to access it, and then you got to pay for all of the videos you want to watch. That just, I'm hearing the cha-ching from the other end, but
you go on X Hamster, the porn you see is for anybody. If you go on OnlyFans, it's just for you.
So it's an exclusivity thing. It's like a Veblen version of porn. That's interesting. Okay.
And then you can talk to them, and then they'll write you back, and it's definitely them talking to you.
Yep.
100% them. Stone Ryan, thank you for the invite.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for filling in for us. Donnie is prioritizing a concert he's going to over the podcast.
What concert?
Nine Inch
Nails. Yeah.
All right, forgiven. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw them when they came through last year, and I was just like, oh, that was easy. Like, I'm not even a big Nine Inch Nails fan, but that was one of the best concerts I've ever seen in my life.
Wow. Yeah. See, I'm struggling a little bit because I've never seen them. So I don't know. I feel like he owes me a souvenir or something.
I feel like I need to take your goth card away.
Right? At least put it on probation. But nobody comes here, so it's fine.
You can make the drive to Seattle, right?
I suppose I could if I wanted to make a weekend out of it.
How long a drive is that?
Be like a friggin' 8-hour drive or something.
Oh, God. Yeah.
As you can see, the concerts are usually a weeknight, so it's not really conducive.
Yeah, weekday concerts are the worst. I hate this trend, but they sell out. So,
especially for Nine Inch Nails, like knowing that your audience is going to be over the age of 35.
Right.
Yeah, easily.
Right? We wrap this up. I got stuff to do in the morning.
I got a shift at 9. So,
all right, you guys ready?
Let's f***ing do it.
Yeah, I'm ready to go whenever you guys are.
All right. And we are live, everyone. Got a new face with us here.
Donnie had plastic surgery. You hardly recognize him.
He suddenly got way more ugly. It's weird. That's what happens when you go the cheap route. But yes. Hi, everybody.
All right. Wow. Let's go ahead and get the show started. Welcome, everyone, to Gamers Week podcast. Like the name says, we analyze the best, worst, and weirdest headlines of the past week in the video game industry. This is episode 201, and today is Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. My name is Blue Williams, and I'll be your host for this evening. But as you can see, I am not alone. I do have two fine co-hosts with me. My first co-host just shocked the entirety of the gaming world by popping his Team Cherry Cherry and playing Hollow Knight live on Twitch. He did great for his first time, but I don't think it'll surprise anyone to hear he needs a bit more practice handling his nail. Everyone, please say hello to Ryan Payne, aka Retro Game Brews.
It is true. I broke my Team Cherry Cherry. I've been putting this off for a while just because I wanted to spite Blue, but I figured now it's better time than anything because Donnie's been playing a bunch of times here in a row, so we'll give it a go. 36 times in a row.
Yeah, it was a complete surprise. We didn't even goad you into doing it. He did this of his own volition. He's like, look what I bought. And I said, wow, I would say you wasted $20, but it's going to Team Cherry, so it's a good investment, even if you never play it ever again.
We'll see.
Man, what a sales pitch right there. It's like, yeah.
And my second co-host is dusting off his black leather pants and mesh belly shirt so he can go see Nine Inch Nails live in concert and experience the thrill of someone wanting to feel him from the inside. That's right. The one and only Donnie G is absent tonight. However, in his place, we are joined by Jim of Drink a Beer and Play a Game. Along with his co-host Brian, they drink beers, they play games, and they talk about both on YouTube and their Power Hour podcast. Jim, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you guys for having me on. It has been a minute since we have talked, but it's always a good time to be on Gamers Week. I also have recently popped my cherry with Hollow Knight over here.
There
for the first time. I just beat it maybe a week or two ago, and
nice.
I mean, absolutely love the goddamn game. It became the obsession, but yeah, I mean, I want to eventually get to Silk Song, but I just did like 4 Metroidvanias in a row, so I'm a little burnt out. But
fair.
Eventually, one day.
Did you 112% it?
No, God, no.
Also fair.
All those like dream version, ultra boss fight of anything I already barely beat the first time. Like I'll try like 4 or 5 times and just like, nope, done. Just let me just finish the stupid story and move on with my life finally.
I respect it. So speaking of a hot minute, Jim, you were last on the show on episode 38, which was way back in September of 2022.
Wow, that's insane. It does not feel like it has been that long, but like everything else, life just flies by and it's just one closer to death. It's great.
Well, for everybody who may have missed episode 38 from September 2022, could you tell everybody a little bit about you and your show?
Yeah, so like you said, I do it with my co-host and now brother-in-law, Brian. And yeah, we've been doing it since 2013. It started off as a page where we would just try and go through, basically, the original idea was to go through every single game of like a genre. So like every sports game or every fighting game on the NES and like review them and rank them and compare them all. And 13 years later, there's still some of our most like watched videos, even though they're complete dog shit. But like people go like, oh, your top 10 NES like baseball game video is terrible. And we go, we know, but it has like 100,000 views. So we're never going to get rid of that. So deal with it. But yeah, like as the years went on, it evolved into like, you know, doing drinking game videos, like elaborate over the top production value stuff. And then eventually you get old, fat and lazy and you start a podcast. So that's what we did. We've been doing the Power Hour for a number of years now. We love doing it. It's fun to talk the news of the week, whatever random bullcrap we come up with, and that's like how you make friends on this whole kind of YouTube internet sphere is meeting 100%. New people, talking to them through these shows, meeting up with them at conventions. It's the best part of doing all this crap.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that last week, how many people we have met at cons just from doing this podcast. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and even for like as small as we are, every once in a while, like at a concert, we'll come be like, "Oh, Power Hour Podcast guys." We're like, "Oh God, this is weird." You know who we are. I apologize for everything I've ever said on there. But yeah, this year the big project that I got to give props to Brian. So he's like, I want to try to get a boost to the channel. So for anyone who knows YouTube, it's all about shorts now and the short form content. Mm-hmm. So we reached out to a bunch of friends of the show, people we've known forever. Give us your best video game music. And he has been cranking out a short a day with all these suggestions we've been getting from friends, family, just random people who saw the videos and started to give their suggestions. And it's a cool way to like, go deep. Like, of course, you're going to get the Donkey Kong countries and the Marios of the world,
Right.
but
Right.
eventually you're going to get those like real deep cuts that you're like, I never even heard of this game before. Like today, our buddy Mook, he just told us about like a song from the game Gods in the Sega Genesis. And I was like, I have like 400 Sega Genesis games and I've never heard of that game before in my life. So even then, you could like, it's surprising what you can get thrown at you.
Yeah, I've been seeing those shorts on YouTube. The dedication is admirable and intimidating. We did shorts for a hot minute, and I was like, ain't nobody got time to keep up on these.
But if you look at our analytics, they're the things that people watch the most still to this day. So, yeah.
It's to give and take. And yeah, I mean, you're talking about like the grind. Like I'm sitting here complaining that I'm going to have to post it to like 4 different social medias and I'm just posting a link. He's the one doing the editing and the filming and all that bull crap. So yeah, props to him. That's way more presence of mind than I've ever had in my life. So
right. The amount of work that goes into a 30-second video is insane. So shout out to Brian.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the last nice thing I'll say about him tonight. So, Wild West.
All right. Well, want to start your own podcast, maybe about Wolverine getting addicted to manicures? Well, you'll need a place to host your show. Buzzsprout has a user-friendly interface, great analytics, and resources to help grow your audience. Just use a link in the description to get a $20 credit when you sign up for a paid plan. And when I envision this, it's with the claws out and sitting there chatting at the table as the claws are being like filed down and painted and things.
It's tough to do that with Antimantium, though. I'm going to nerd out here for a bit.
Yeah, I knew somebody's going to bring that up, but the vision is still funny in my head. So that's what we went with.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, sometimes it's just bone whenever it's convenient for the comic story. So however horrific way he gets maimed this time.
Right.
All right, let's move on to our reviews, reactions, and requests. Funyun says, cheers to my favorite podcast crew. Thanks for doing what you do. Thank you, Funyuns.
And thank you for being one of the few people that post comments on Spotify. It like makes my day when I see that we have a comment. So Funyuns, thank you so much for that, man.
Yeah, Spotify is just kind of a giant comment black hole, except for Funyuns.
Funyuns, come to my show. Funyuns, please come to my show. Funyuns, I need it. I need it so much.
Gaming and Gains says, movie talk, let's get pedantic.
Every time.
And it's a shame Donnie's not here to respond to this because it's directed at him. And whether or not, who was it? Blade is part of the MCU.
Oh, yeah. That was a lovely debate that we had.
That went on for about 107 years.
I was going to say, what was his side on that?
I don't even remember. It was a lot of nerdy.
You just blacked it out. You just went to a happy place.
Yep.
Yeah. And finally, Go Hobo Go says, I couldn't stay on Wednesday to hear the origin story live, but I'm actually happy I heard it with full production. RGB, you really killed it. It was perfectly written and told. You are the storytelling daddy in my book. Wonderful episode as always, and congratulations on 200 episodes. I eagerly await how you top it for 300.
So do you want to tell the story about what we did right before the show started?
So right before we're ready to record, we've had this planned for 2 months since Go Hobo Go actually initially reached out and said, hey, we don't know the story of your podcast origin. Can we hear it? And we all decided we're going to tell it on episode 200. So Ryan wrote out this whole thing. We have it planned for months. And then right before we're ready to hit live, Ryan says, I don't like it. I think we should cancel the segment and do something different. Like, are you fucking kidding me? So I haven't read it beforehand because I wanted to give an honest reaction, but I was like, let me read it and I will tell you what I think. And I read it and it was amazing. And I said, no, we're fucking doing it. I'm putting my foot down.
I would say the moral of the story is never doubt yourself, but I don't know if that's the correct one this time around.
Also, never try. Always wing it.
There it is. There it is. I like it. That's the moral today.
All right, let's move on to our patron shoutouts.
All right, well, we couldn't do what we do without the help of our gorgeous patrons. Here's the generous folks supporting Gamers Week on Patreon. Frank Grande, Love Retro BTW, Steven Sand, Ramboski, Terry Kinnair, Don't Make Me Pull This Car Over. The best part of waking up is games with coffee. Hybrid Divide, You Fall Before Me, Let's Play Princess, La Shorty, The Pixel Pond Family, including Shannon and Luke, and Ski Ball Daddy, Zach, Cluster Nuts, Puzzle Butter, Number One Blue Sick Voice Chan, John Barron, Sassy Sony, Evo Lust, Cyram, Al Harrington's wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man emporium and warehouse, Mega Retro Man, Gamatroid, Moradib, Michael, No Job is Too Big, No Fee is Too Big, Lekite, Emo S, Bill Tucker, you know, the beeps, the sweeps, and the creeps, Food Cakes, I Hate It When My Schwartz Gets Twisted, Pickled Pepper, Ducks with Thick Thighs, Absolutely the Best Podcast and Work in Progress, Bobson Dugnut, Blues Little Sith, Perler Daddy, Retro Blast Pat, B&T Zilla Guy, The Mad Milkman, Seven Castle Forest, Crunchy Kong, and the Ichiest Bon. If you like what you hear today, we really hope you do. Please consider joining us on Patreon. Your support helps cover the cost of producing the show, as well as other cool stuff we'll be doing like prizes and giveaways. You also gain access to our bi-weekly patron-only bonus cast called Gamers Week Uncut, patrons with benefits. Visit patreon.com/gamersweek or follow the link in the show notes to learn more.
Frank in the chat is calling you the Bard Daddy.
The Bard Daddy. Oh, man. I'm like, Shakespeare level that okay.
I just have to say, I'm tired from listening to you read off those things. What the? How did you do that so smooth?
Practice, my friend. Practice.
So much practice. Oh my God.
Dude, we're 330 episodes on our podcast. We have 2 lines to introduce our Patreon segment, and I f it up every time. I haven't learned a goddamn thing, and I say the same thing, and I always trip over myself. So don't sell yourself short. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Let's move on to the headlines.
This headline segment is proudly sponsored by Absolutely the Best Podcast, a work in progress. Each episode, George and Zach discuss and rank all the best things. And right now, they're ranking every movie in the Alien vs. Predator connected universe. This week, they've got a trivia question for us. What beat-em-up video game series allows the players to control the characters Dave, Char, Morgan Ziegler, and George Pye to defeat an army of space mutants? Visit them at absolutelythebest.net or follow the link in the show notes.
I actually know this one, only because I was going to do a Gaming History 101 on this game. But Jim, do you have any idea?
I have no goddamn idea. Morgan Ziegler sounds familiar, and it's like it sounds like one I should know, but I just have nothing right now.
What if I told you they were going to defeat Evelyn Volkmeyer and her army of space mutants?
You know, I didn't know her name. That's interesting. Okay.
I'm still out. I'm tapping out. Someone's got to help me here.
It is Battletoads. So, yeah. Morgan Ziegler, I believe, is Zitz. George Pye, I want to say, is Pimple. And Dave Char is Rash, because Rash backwards is Char.
So you know how they say every time you learn something new, you forget something?
R-A. Oh, it's close. But yes, I know what you're saying, but it's close. R-A-H-S-S-H. We just switched them. Yeah. That's all right.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. I honestly, until Zach sent me this question, I had no idea that they had real names beyond what you just called them in the game.
And I didn't either until I started doing research. So one of the things I wanted to do, because we had Kev Bayless on the show, I was like, all right, well, let's do like a thing about all the games that he created. And I ran over that trivia and I was like, that's fucking crazy. Like, I had no idea that they had real names. I had the game from a kid. I probably looked at the manual 100 times and I still didn't know that. So crazy shit.
I grew up a Genesis kid, so I only ever had Battletoads Double Dragon, ever made it like maybe to level 5. So I never even beat the fucking game. Like, even that game kicked my ass, much less the original NES one. Yeah, unfortunately, Battletoads is like a black hole in like my gaming history for the most part.
Fair. And I remember that was the one game that we rented as kids and from Blockbuster and didn't return it. And so the next time my mom went to go get a movie, they're like, oh yeah, it's going to be like $50 for late fees. And my mom was like, what? Like, well, you still have Battletoads. So if you think about it, like $50 in late fees back then, that would have bought the game and then, a bucket of popcorn and Blockbuster easily. So yeah, they saw us coming. They knew. And I don't even think we played it that much after we didn't return it. So didn't even get the money out of it. But I got grounded.
No late fees. I got this. So my dad was a cop and we had we were late by a half hour. So we got the full like $3, whatever it was, late fee. Right. And the cop rage just built up, just came out. And I watched a man rip apart a laminated card with a car key, a dull car key. And he just sat there ripping the absolute shit out of it. And I was like, this is one of the scariest things I've ever seen. I don't even know how to react to this right now.
But nowadays, if your buddy did that, you'd be like, I need to record this. This needs to go on social media.
And then you put it up and you get 3 views, and then someone steals your video and they get 1 million.
There it is.
All right, let's move on to this highly anticipated main topic for the week. Microsoft Gaming CEO, or should I say Xbox boss, Phil Spencer.
Drink.
I'll drink to Xbox boss, Phil Spencer.
I'll take the excuse.
Who has been at Microsoft since he joined as an intern in 1988 and with Xbox since the software giant launched its first console in 2001, has retired effective February 23rd. Meanwhile, Xbox president Sarah Bond, long thought by many both inside and outside of Microsoft to be Spencer's heir apparent, has resigned. The new CEO of Microsoft Gaming will be Asha Sharma, currently the president of Microsoft's CoreAI product. Finally, Xbox Game Studios head Matt Booty is being promoted to chief content officer and will work closely with Sharma. Concern has mounted rapidly among gamers due to the fact that Sharma is a relatively new hire with no experience managing anything related to games. Prior to joining Microsoft in 2024, she held top positions at Meta and Instacart. This isn't to say she doesn't play video games, but in an era when Xbox has lost the trust of many players and is in desperate need of rebuilding, a new leader with no gaming management experience and coming directly from an AI position within Microsoft is unsettling, even if she's saying the right things. Speaking to Variety, the exec has claimed she has no tolerance for bad AI. AI has long been part of gaming and will continue to be, Sharma said, noting that gaming needs new growth engines, but that great stories are created by humans. The question here is what a VP of an AI product within Microsoft, a company injecting AI into everything it makes with products like Copilot almost inescapable, thinks bad AI actually looks like. Perhaps more telling, in all 4 statements between Sharma, Satya Nadella, Phil Spencer, and Matt Booty, the words Game Pass are only mentioned a single time when Spencer talks about the achievements of the instantly departed Sarah Bond. It seems strange to write thousands of words on the future of Xbox and not name what is supposed to be the core product of the entire brand, besides one past tense instance. It does seem clear that Spencer, despite being a nice guy and hardcore gamer, had ruled over an era that had run its course and change was needed. Sharma is clearly talented in multiple fields and seems personable and eager to learn. But Xbox players don't particularly want someone to show up now when the brand is in dire straits, eager to learn, as there doesn't seem to be much time to waste to turn things around. Seamus Blackley, who co-created Xbox at Microsoft in 2001 before leaving just a year later, said in an interview this week with GamesBeat that he believes the Xbox brand is being sunsetted. They don't say that, but that's what's happening, Blackley said. I expect that the new CEO, Asha Sharma, her job is going to be as a palliative care doctor who slides Xbox gently into the night.
Just sleep.
Damn.
Only dreams now.
Good night, sweet prince.
I hate to say this. Actually, I don't. I called this 100 times over. I mean, I've been wrong a bunch of those times, but it's finally happening where I was right about this take that eventually Xbox is getting to the point in which we won't necessarily see it as part of the big 3. It'll be the big 2 potentially.
But the Steam machines, that'll save us. The Steam machines, again.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you've called it 1,000 times, and Donnie, of course, he has called it 1,001 times. He even made it his prediction for 2026, and that Xbox will fall, I think is exactly how he put it. But I've never actually thought that was possible because it's only been, 3 years since Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard, and that was so dramatic and so prolonged, and they put so much effort into acquiring that gaming giant to boost their Xbox division. Why would they turn around just a couple of years later and say, we no longer want to do games? But when you look at a move like this, it becomes a lot more feasible to think maybe they really are just going, we don't care anymore.
On our show, we have a lot of recurring bits, and just now I'm thinking of one we should have had called "What the is Xbox doing?" Because all it's been for the past couple of years, like you guys said, is just baffling move after baffling move. Like you're distant third place in the market. So what do? You will hike the cost of a system no one's buying.
Right.
You spend all these billions and hundreds of billions of dollars for all these exclusives. So what do? You put them on all the platforms. So it's like they've done nothing to try and bring people, much less having like 2-4 actual exclusive games made by their studios in the past 5 years. So it's like, okay, they're making a big push. And then it's like, all right, they just want to be a publisher and make all the money off publishing. And then now you look at it and go, I don't know what you're doing. And God bless this new CEO. She's getting like the David Lee Roth spot after Stern. Like it's just, she's being left out to die, man. It's a shame to see. But someone's got to take the blame, I guess, eventually.
Right.
Yeah. And you got to wonder if that's why Sarah Bond just up and quit. I suppose we'll never really know. But if she was also operating under the assumption that she would succeed Xbox boss Phil Spencer, and they said, no, we're going to give it to this chick who's only been here a year and a half and has no experience with gaming. I mean, I would be like, all right, this shit, I'm out.
I mean, nobody wants to be the last emperor of an empire, right? And have that go down on your resume as the person who ended it all. But I think also what you're seeing here is that they're consolidating, right? They're trying to get it to the point in which they can sunset it, but also maintain some of their property value and all that stuff. But let's be honest with this. We've been talking about Game Pass for years as bleeding money, right? It just hasn't been a sustainable brand. It's third place, like you said, in the market. It almost has not even touch Japan. They have not embraced the Xbox whatsoever. So realistically, when it comes down to the future of this brand and what we expect to see, there's nothing that is the light at the end of the tunnel for them moving forward. And it's sad to say, because I mean, I think we all grew up in an era where we had the three, right? So back in the day, it was Genesis and Nintendo, and then PlayStation came along, and then Sega went out, so Microsoft replaced them. And to your point, maybe the Steam machine is going to be our third. But the problem with the two that we would have left to replace them is that you've got one that's dedicated to kind of the forefront of technology, right? And then the other one is dedicated to, we're going to play in our own sandbox and do our own thing. So what does that leave as far as competition? Because I mean, they are in competition, don't get me wrong, but they're not really. They're not the same exact, because Xbox and PlayStation were. They were the two that were trying to push the boundaries of technology. We were getting like all the tracing of the rays were happening as a result of all this.
So many rays.
Right, so many. And now what happens when they're gone? I mean, yes, there are alternatives out there, but from a console gamer, somebody who has a console and plays that, your options are now getting smaller and smaller. And that's probably not great for the market either. $80, $100 games. Well, if PlayStation decides that that's the norm for the rest of humanity, too bad. Nobody else, you can't get those games anywhere else because they're all going to be exclusive to PlayStation. So it's concerning, but I can't say we didn't see it coming.
Yeah, 100%. If I could nerd out real quick and go to the world of professional wrestling. So if you want to talk about the problem of having one big name doing something, there is a period in the early 2010s. WCW is gone. TNA is falling off the cliff. It's just WWE. And what happens when you're the only game in town? You get lazy, you get complacent, and you try to get there's no innovation, and you're just trying to get all the money you can from basically as many normies as you can get.
Right.
So if you think you're sick of military shooters and open world games now, buckle up, because if PlayStation's the only game in town, that's all you're getting. And you're not going to see anything new or fun for a long time, because exclusives, competition breeds innovation. You take that away and, well, the market's going to dictate. We will see. It's going to suck.
So Zwick the editor said AAA is dying. Indie games are the future. If it wasn't for the RAM shortage, there would be a real high chance that the Steam machine would have been the top selling console game. I don't think you're necessarily wrong on that. I mean, we had talked about the pricing of the Steam machine kind of pricing out console gamers. If RAM didn't cost so much, that might have been more feasible.
But in a world where, let's assume Xbox goes away, in a world where we have Sony at the forefront of the technical innovation of games, and then Nintendo's still just in the background doing its own thing, Sony has no real competition. And so the Steam machine becomes a lot more important, and Steam and GOG and those kinds of platforms become a lot more important, because Sony has in that scenario, a monopoly essentially on the AAA console market, but they already have been desperately trying to port their games to PC and try to capture that market because the console market is not enough. So in the absence of Xbox, there will be a void to be filled by some company. And the circumstances in gaming being what they are these days, I don't see a new company jumping up to fill that void, kind of the way that Xbox did when Sega went out. It will probably have to come from a PC viewpoint.
Yeah, if you look at it from that point of view, back in 2001, gaming industry was a few $1 billion. Now it's hundreds of billions of dollars. So the barrier to entry to get into being a console maker, I mean, Lord Gaben, thank you so much, because obviously you can do that, but it's essentially, if you think about it, it's like an oligopoly, right? Like nobody is really going to be able to price into that unless you're an Amazon, a Google, a Meta. No,
Amazon and Meta.
Yeah,
Amazon and Meta are completely incompetent with their games. Right. They're not even players.
Right. I bought a Luna controller to try it out for a month, and that was garbage. There was nothing on that platform I wanted to play, and anything that you did want to play, you had to pay extra for it. So I don't even know why Luna exists. I'll be honest.
Yeah, especially when their controller was just a ripoff of the Nintendo Pro controller.
It literally is. You're right. It just it has a little bit more grippy on the on the handles.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, I still have a sealed Stadia Founder set over here.
Do you really?
Keep that shit sealed.
Oh, I am. I got it for the low price of signing up for Google Play for like $1 when they were trying to get rid of it.
Oh, no kidding. That's great.
That was like 2 years ago or something. They were just giving these things away. It was great.
I kind of wish I had one then.
Right?
So next up, Bluepoint, the studio behind the widely praised Demon's Souls remake and the Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection, among others, is being shut down by PlayStation. According to Bloomberg, around 70 employees will be impacted by the studio's shock closure, which will come into force in March. A spokesperson told the publication the decision was made following a recent business review. The move comes 5 years after Bluepoint Games released Demon's Souls as a launch exclusive for the PS5. Since then, Sony, which acquired Bluepoint in 2021, put the beloved and exceptionally talented studio to work on a live service God of War game, a project it ultimately canceled last year. Sony exec Herman Holst said the decision was not made lightly before rubbing more salt on the wound and calling Bluepoint an incredibly talented team whose technical expertise has delivered exceptional experiences for the PlayStation community. Holst closed by stating he knew this news would come as a blow, but he is confident in the direction PlayStation is heading. Sony's decision to put a studio renowned for its acclaimed remakes on a live service project raised many an eyebrow, with the move seeming to be a waste of talent and a clear misdirection for their team's strengths. Back in February 2022, Sony stated it aimed to launch more than 10 new live service games over the coming years. A month later, then Sony exec Jim Ryan said he believed live service games were a key part of gaming's future. However, since then, the company has backtracked on this vision almost completely and canceled most of its proposed projects.
Back in 2022, when we thought everything needed to be a live service game.
Yeah, I remember some of the episodes we did then, and we were genuinely concerned that the world was going to turn into a live service wasteland. And then
Just like
4 years later.
Right.
Yeah,
Definitely
look where we are.
I mean, what's the most famous case of like this awful idea of, hey, let's take this renowned company known for making single player games and force them to make a live service game and up a franchise. Like we saw
Redfall, excuse me.
Right there. And also, what do you call it? Suicide Squad? Like all the Arkham developers, and you have one of the biggest flops of all time. So it's like, it was just such a weird boner this industry had. And it's like, if you see like the final reports that were coming out about Bluepoint, it's like, it's a thing where like AAA studios lost the art of like the artsy kind of critically acclaimed kind of release that keeps you kind of having some prestige to you, even though you know it's not going to sell too well. Because there's reports about the Shadow of the Colossus remake. It didn't sell great, but it's a game that's been loved forever. People talk about in retrospectives all the time. It's one of those slow burns that probably will make its money back eventually one day. But those are the things you should have, so you're just not like a slop peddler. Because if you just peddle slop, then no one's going to come back to you.
Valrank says Concord did well, right?
I have my copy.
I do too.
Yes. And then I went to Target like a week later, and they had one copy left, and I tried to buy it, and they're like, "Oh, this doesn't come up anymore. We can't sell it." I was like, "Come on, just let me have it."
Doesn't come up
just give it to
anymore.
me.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, it's just trash anyway. You're just going to throw it out. Just let me take it home.
Just like put a 5 on the counter and just slide it.
How about now?
What about Mr. Abraham Lincoln?
5 is way too much for that game.
It's true. But yeah, I mean, it's just depressing to see. It's the state of the industry that we're at. Like nothing, you can make the best games in the world and still be gone tomorrow. It's like, well, why even try at this point?
Yeah, it seems like everybody is a commodity that can be dissolved at any point, right? And so, from a indie development standpoint, a lot of indie developers have moved into becoming bigger studios, and they've grown over time. There's maybe at this point there doesn't seem to be a lot of incentive to try to grow, because eventually you'll get bought up by a bigger company and then scuttled. And that's a scary proposition as well. Some of the best things that we've seen come out of the indie space, and then these developers, they do well with a game, they get bought up. I mean, granted, great for the owners. I'm sure that, getting a paycheck of hundreds of millions of dollars is fantastic for them. But for everybody else, that puts a huge weight on the industry that this is just not sustainable. And it seems too like it feels like it's done on a whim. I know that there's probably a lot of study into it, and then they spend a lot of time doing analysis to make sure that it's a good move. But why is this always the best move? It just seems that there are so many developers out there that we're getting rid of. This seems almost like it's the mergers and acquisitions, right? You just buy up a company just for its name, you sell it off. That's how business has been outside of the gaming industry for a long time. So all of a sudden, we're now injecting what's good for retail now into video games, which is, to me, a scary thing, because video games are an interactive entertainment piece, but they're also art, and they're things that we can enjoy long term. So I don't like this trend, is what I'm saying, I guess.
No.
And it's also, so without naming names, like I've talked to some people in the beer world as well. Mm-hmm. And the goal for a lot of these small microbrewers is just to eventually be bought up by one of the big macro ones. Yeah, so like AB InBev is the big bad final boss of the beer world. Like, and they are copyright dicks, and they are just left and right buying up the little guy and shutting him down or absorbing him or making him worse. But the owners of these places, like you just said, Ryan, you can't fault an owner for wanting generational wealth and just being like, well, I'm on easy street now. That's someone else's problem at this point. I'm like, the brand, I'm rich. So yeah, I mean, it seems like it goes anywhere for these little, passion projects. You get bought up, you get your money, and then boom, poof. Hope you enjoyed that, because you're not seeing it anymore.
So what's the incentive as somebody who is a game programmer to go into, in the future? I mean, you're not going to have as many people coming out of university learning how to program games, hoping to God to work for ActiBliz or something in the future, right? That's just not going to be the case.
When video games stop enchanting young people, mm-hmm. then they will stop wanting to make video games. I don't think that's the case yet, but true. I think it is a danger lurking on the horizon that could be a world in which people no longer see video games as a worthwhile pursuit to dream about. But this closure of studios is something we've talked about a gazillion times over the past 4 years in our show. From both Sony and Xbox perspective, they both buy up studios, and they both do this. And it just kind of boggles my mind, because it's like a square peg, round hole kind of a thing. You bought a bunch of square pegs. They're extremely useful, but when you're trying to put them in the round holes, then it's not their fault. You're using it wrong. But apparently that's not ever occurred to these guys to say, let's use this asset, this extremely viable and proven successful asset, and let's take it in another direction, and we can still make this work. I think we talked about maybe a couple of weeks ago, where we talked about executives at studios and millionaires. They work off of a different math than was taught in high school.
Right.
Us normal people, we have no idea what their math means. And so then their math says the answer to this solution is to close it and dissolve the asset. I don't understand it, and I never will. You're taking your company's library, the Sony library, and just making it smaller. What are you going to do to replace it? Because your big IP, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, they're not as successful as they used to be. So what's the solution here?
I mean, what were we talking about? What was in 2024 where there was this huge gap of AAA games, and it was like, oh my God, the industry's going to fall down because, this summer they weren't expecting that many games. That trend will continue if we continue to get rid of studios in this way. And to your point, if it's not doing as well, it's not selling as well. I think Switch the Editor said AAA is dying. I don't know what that looks like in a gaming industry where those big studios don't exist. I would love to say indie steps in and fills that void. I just don't know if they have the capital to do it, or do they have the ability to ward off the big investors to prevent themselves from becoming the demon, right? The old, you either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain.
Simon says they get pegged.
Well, I wanted.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
I wanted to give you credit for so many innuendos in there that you didn't say on purpose. So,
I was trying so hard.
Getting pegged, nobody likes it in the wrong hole. Like there was so many things.
I try to be mature every once in a while, but it doesn't last long.
I was like, don't jump in. Don't jump in. Don't jump in. But yeah, I guess to wrap it all up, guys, you're forgetting one simple thing, though. The industry's fine. We don't need passion or developers. We have AI. So we're good. It's all good.
Ikari Metal Slugger says companies just got to start embracing middle market, middle budget games. And yeah, in the scenario you discussed, Ryan, that's probably what happens is there's a lot of AI slop, like Jem just mentioned, but the stuff that will actually sell and will actually get people's attention would probably come from an indie perspective, whether they have the capital to keep it up or whether they also have to learn to operate in a world where there's less money to go around. But yeah, again, for the second time, this is a future where PC gaming is suddenly extremely more important.
Yeah, maybe it is time for a new crash, and then the Brits can still say that it never happened because they had the ZX Spectrum or some bullshit no one cares about. So that's fine. Whatever. You can go through that conversation.
That comment just, that's a hit home in a really good way. So thank you.
All right. And last up tonight, video games are losing the attention war to gambling, porn, and crypto, according to a new industry report. Epilon, a gaming industry advisory company, has broken down the state of the video game industry. The 164-page report dedicates a whole section called Video Games Are Losing the Attention War in the Major Market 8 to the topic. It starts by comparing pre- and post-pandemic consumer spending from 8 major video game markets: the USA, Japan, South Korea, UK, Germany, France, Canada, and Italy. Prior to the pandemic, these countries made up over 60% of total spending on video games. Post-pandemic, total spend across all major market 8 regions on console and PC shrunk by $4.8 billion, and mobile is down by $2.3 billion. This money is instead going elsewhere, to Roblox, for example, which the report states makes up 67% of net growth. Chapter 4 of the report further links this drop to multiple other mediums garnering people's attention. These are social media, creator pornography, AI assistants, crypto and meme coins, prediction markets, online sports betting, and iGaming and iCasinos. For example, in 2025, American consumers spent roughly $5 billion on OnlyFans. Sports betting is booming, and U.S. consumption of TikTok is up 39 million hours a day compared to pre-COVID figures. The report states video gaming's post-pandemic problem isn't that players choose to watch TikTok instead of buying a AAA game or subscribe to OnlyFans instead of buying a PlayStation. It's that on a Friday evening, players are placing a growing share of their time and spend elsewhere. This is where it all comes full circle.
Can't come.
Yep. This is where both Sony and Xbox mismanaging their portfolios, mismanaging their studios, raising their prices, giving the middle finger to their audiences. It comes full circle to where, you know what? People just don't want to play anymore.
I think one of the things that this is indicative of, though, is maybe economy-based issues as well. When the economy slows down, people have a tendency to avoid entertainment media because they see it being a luxury item.
Fair. This doesn't sound like they're avoiding it, though.
But hear me out. Gambling, right, is a means to generate money, and so is crypto. So that makes sense, right? It's an investment. Yeah. I mean, but look at like what Kelshi right now is huge, absolutely huge. You can bet on anything, right? Literally anything on that website. It's all prop bets. And there's one other one, I forgot the name of it, but those two have exploded as far as entertainment that can make you money. Crypto's the same way. You do the meme coins, you can sit there and watch Bitcoin go up and down. Once it goes up, you can hammer one out. And then porn, that's a necessity, let's be honest. So porn never has a slump, we'll say that. So if you look at it from that point of view, though, it's now replacing the story-driven, the shoot-em-ups and all that kind of things, because there isn't an opportunity necessarily to make money on that. Unless Roblox, can't you make money playing Roblox as like a creator?
Maybe. I've never touched it, to be honest.
Right. But say you can't, I'm sure streaming and all that kind of stuff is a great way to generate cash. But nonetheless, people are struggling from an income standpoint. Things are more expensive. So they're trying to find ways in which they can still stay entertained, but potentially gain money or lose it all because they're gambling on it. Which I think crypto and gambling should be one. That's it's like legal gambling, if you will. But yeah, I think it's like a shift. It's a shift in culture. It's a shift in economy as far as the global markets are concerned. So I'm not surprised. I'm really not.
And like, how do you escape it? Like, if you watch the Super Bowl or the World Series, what are all the commercials? It's all crypto, and it's all like FanDuel and sports betting shit.
Right.
It's just put in your face, no matter whether you're chronically online or the biggest normie watching like season 7 of Young Sheldon. It's like, it doesn't matter. Like, no matter what, it's getting thrown in your face, and it's going to be a thing where you eventually go, oh, I'll try it. Yeah. Like, even fucking Temu, like, you go on that and it has that wheel where it's like, oh, 3 more spins, spend $5 more, and you can have the $100 spin. Like that. Like, everything's made to just suck you in these days. And then there's OnlyFans, which that's the point. But besides that,
that's the one I don't get, but I won't get into that. I'm not going to kink shame anybody, but
you don't get OnlyFans?
I've never gotten OnlyFans, I will say, because there's X Hamster and X Videos and Pornhub and RedTube.
Depends on your location, because you need to ID verify X Hamster now in PA. So
I would rather pay for a VPN that will allow me to go on than
that is brand loyalty right there.
There you go. But you pay to go on a site just to access it, and then you got to pay for all of the like videos you want to watch. That just, I mean, I'm hearing the cha-ching from the other end, but
if you go on X Hamster, the porn you see is for anybody. If you go on OnlyFans, it's just for you.
So it's an exclusivity thing. It's like a Veblen version of porn. That's interesting. Okay.
And then you can talk to them, and then they'll write you back, and it's definitely them talking to you.
Yep.
100% them.
They definitely care about you as a person.
And it's not like you can't go type in their name and then type leaked or nude and find actual pictures and video of them from their site.
Well, it's probably AI now, so.
It's probably true.
Yeah, true.
Sam Disfaction says, I believe it's more of a newer generation gap. We were the video game generation. The next one is the porn OnlyFans and shorter attention span, TikTok and Reels. Yeah. Until we die of old age or something, gaming is going to decline until VR is actually fun and easy to implement in daily life. I don't think you're wrong. I can't stand TikTok because it's just like this constant stream of noise. There is like, seems like there's a fundamental change in the way people view media, that's what they want, versus me. I'm just like, can we just be quiet for just like 10 seconds and settle on a topic? So that is going to inform gaming going forward. Maybe gaming has to fundamentally change what it is, or maybe it does die with us. I don't know.
I didn't like TikTok because it immediately figured out that based off of my age and my background, what types of reels I would like. And there were a lot of girls with thick thighs and those kinds of things. Not to say it wasn't wrong.
It wasn't wrong.
It wasn't wrong.
I don't think it was
Just
wrong.
the fact that it assumed
too much.
Right. And yeah, it was like, yeah, you gotta slow roll this for me.
I hate TikTok because the app never fucking works unless you're on Wi-Fi. My wife sends me stuff all the time. She's like, why don't you like watch my TikToks? It's like, because it never loads and it never works right. So like, I'm an old man. I have no attention span anymore and no patience. So much like OnlyFans, if I don't get my instant gratification, I'm out.
All right, let's move on to our top 1 new releases for the week.
Resident Evil Requiem. PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, and PC. A new era of survival arrives with Resident Evil Requiem, the latest and most immersive entry yet in the iconic Resident Evil series. Experience terrifying survival horror with FBI analyst Grace Ashcroft and dive into pulse-pounding action with legendary agent Leon S. Kennedy. Both of their journeys and unique gameplay styles intertwine into a heart-stopping emotional experience that will chill you to your car. And it seems that no one wanted to go up against Capcom's new blockbuster. So this week, the only other releases are existing games being ported to new systems such as Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, the Disney Afternoon Collection, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, Resident Evil Village, and Tales of Berseria Remastered. So Blue, are you super excited for Resident Evil Requiem?
I have been super excited for
I knew this was coming.
months and months and months since it was announced practically. What's interesting is that in our Discord, we've been chatting about it. It seems like there is a shortage of physical editions for this game. The only one that people have been able to reliably find online is the Switch 2 edition, which on the one hand, I have heard the game actually runs remarkably well on Switch 2. But on the other hand, it's one of those digital key cards. So that shit. Mm-hmm. I want to buy it physically. I'm still looking for an actual physical edition that I can buy, but I am 100,000% in for Resident Evil Requiem. But the others, like those are good titles. I have the Disney Afternoon Collection on, I think, PlayStation 4. I always wanted it on the Switch, and it always seemed silly it wasn't on the Switch before. So I don't know. I may pick that up also. I also really love Tales of Berseria. I think I played that on PS4. I don't know that I would really need a remastered edition, but these are some good titles that are being ported if you've never played them before.
Awesome. Jim, is this your kind of game? Are you going to be in for Resident Evil Requiem?
Yeah, you know what? Embarrassingly enough, I still have not gotten around to Resident Evil 7 or 8. My excuse is because we went through the whole spiel of reviewing like every Resident Evil. So eventually I got burnt out, and I'm not the insane horror person that Brian is, where he'll just plow through anything horror related. So
I could see where 6 would just absolutely kill you on the series.
I didn't make it all the way through that. I made it through Leon's campaign, and I was like, there's no reason this first quarter of the game had to be 10 hours. I didn't even hate it. And shockingly enough, like I was playing it like late 2010s, and there were still people hopping into the game in that like online jumping stuff. So
wow.
It does have a fan base. People are still jumping in and playing it. But yeah, eventually I want to get through these. Requiem looks awesome. I'm hearing nothing but good things. I definitely want to play it. I mean, Fallout 4 coming out, like I loved Fallout 4. Like, I don't care what people say. Like, yeah, it's more actiony and shit, but you're using the gun most of the time anyway, so the gunplay is good. It's an improvement. Try going back to Fallout 3 and not using VATS. It's a fucking nightmare. So, and Afternoon Collection's great. All these other ones. Yeah, solid week, but yeah, Requiem's obviously top dog. I want to get around to that eventually.
Heck yeah. What about you, Ryan? Are you going to horror it up?
You know, horror games are my jam. So
come on.
I know.
Come on.
I played the first Resident Evil game, and I haven't touched the series after that. So I don't know if this is probably the best thing for me to do, is to jump into it from here. I only know about Leon because I've watched other people play Resident Evil 4 and stuff. And yeah, probably my favorite time ever watching somebody stream is when Moke told Donnie to shoot the lake a couple times.
Yeah.
But outside of that, yeah, just horror isn't my jam, but not knocking anybody who's into that. That's completely up. But there's so many of these, right? So Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil Village are coming back up. Disney Afternoon Collection, have not played that one either. So I'm literally like, I haven't played any of these so far. So there is potential. But to your point, I think a lot of these are just remakes. So if I really wanted to get into it, I probably would. But if we're talking about, am I going to buy it this week? I'm out. I'm a zero for whatever. I know your look of disappointment on your face. You're judging me, and I get it. I really do.
I like that after this much time, you know it and you accept it.
Accept is a very generous term.
I can't believe you're not even getting like the Disney Afternoon Collection, because that's just retro games. It's DuckTales.
Okay, so DuckTales is one I like. I don't like Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. I never liked that game. I know.
I'm not talking to you anymore.
Getting to look a lot at once. Before we move on, let's take a quick break to talk about our sponsor. This segment is proudly sponsored by the Retro Game Club podcast. It is a fantastic family-friendly retro gaming podcast. In each episode, Rob and a guest pick 2 games to play and discuss, as well as news, interviews, and other topics. Right now, they're playing through The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker and Double Dragon 2: The Revenge on NES. Visit them at retrogameclub.net or follow the link in the show notes.
You know, my sisters and I held Double Dragon 2. There's a special place in our heart. Mm-hmm. I think my parents must have picked it up in a yard sale or something, because I doubt very much it's the kind of game that they would have ever bought us were it not in a lot. But we loved it because it was by far the most violent game that we owned.
Funny how that just draws you in.
I know. And we were so terrible at it, but it was fun to jump on there, and it was one of the few games that's actually better as a 2-player. So 2 of us could hop on there and just like button mash to our heart's content. And we had a great time with it.
Double Dragon games too, back in the day, the music was just amazing too. I love that. And so that was something that always kind of resonated with me. I also had Double Dragon on Game Boy. I played so much.
That's a surprisingly good port. It's
shockingly
good. Yes.
I was getting ready to make fun of it, but I've never played it.
Oh, it's good. It's really good. Music too is spot on. Like it's not all garbled up like a lot of times when you get a port over to the Game Boy. It's really, really good. It's also got some of the glitches. So like, for example, that one where all you got to do is just walk down the ladder and the boss at the top dies, right? And it just goes, You're like, sweet, thank you. So great game. But Double Dragon 2, I think, was definitely an upgrade. Then eventually they got into adding Battletoads to it, to your point there.
My childhood.
Right.
Double Dragon 2, that was the one that you hit, what do you call it? A to punch left and B to punch right, right?
I think you're right, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because I remember the first time I was like, wait, this is wacky as shit. Then it's almost like forward thinking, like how Tekken eventually mapped like every limb to a button. So it's like, oh, hit the left button to punch left. I guess that makes sense. Why didn't anyone else think of this?
It was ahead of its time.
And now, it's time for the very important poll.
Every month, we post our VIP, or very important poll. And if you'd like to participate, follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky at Gamers Week PC. And this month's question: The Legend of Zelda turned 40 this week. Oh,
wow.
Yep. What do you think is the best era of Zelda and why? Coming in first place, which by no surprise is 1987 to 1993 at 58%. A tie coming in second place with 16% is 1998 to 2004 and 2006 to 2015. And then unfortunately pulling up the rear is 2017 to current with 11%. So let's take a look at some of the comments from the poll. Obi-Wan Jabroni 2, awesome name. 1987 to 1993. Not only did we get the first one, but we got the best one in Link to the Past. JC Dendon said Ocarina of Time, the Oracle games, and Wind Waker. Plus, I've been experiencing the greatest of Majora's Mask lately. Lou XL said 1998 to 2004. I would say the jump to 3D in the N64 and the GameCube era really blew Zelda up into the stratosphere. Slaw Sanders says any Zelda release in the 90s, ignoring the CDI, was straight fire. A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time, and are all in my top 5 of the series, with Ocarina of Time and Link to the Past holding down the top 2 spots. And last up, Jewel Knight just said, my heart says the N64 era is the best, but my brain says the Switch era is the best. My stomach says the 3DS era is the best, and I'm not sure about her opinion. So taking a look at these, Jim, what is your favorite era of Zelda?
So real quick, I am shocked that like the Ocarina era is so low, but me, I guess I got to go with everybody else and go the old ones. And here's the thing, like the first Zelda I ever played was Ocarina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't have an NES or Super NES as a kid.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
64 is my first Nintendo console. And like I love the shit out of that game. Like it was like an event in the classroom. I was like, what, 7th grade when that came out? So, everyone's in their cliques, like the nerds and the popular kids. Everyone was talking to each other about that game and like tips, secrets we found, how to beat bosses and shit like that. So it was awesome. But like as an adult going back and like playing the old ones, hot take, I despise the original Legend of Zelda on the NES. It's f***ing bullshit. It's just made to sell Nintendo powers. I can't stand that goddamn game and how cryptic it is. But shockingly, Zelda 2, I figured out with no problems. And everyone shits on that as being too hard. And I had no problems figuring out what to do in that f***ing game.
You found the one tombstone that dropped you down?
Somehow, yeah.
Well, kudos, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's my experience. But I was like, why is everyone shitting on this so much? And like Link's Awakening is probably like big hole in my gaping hole, my gaming again. Episode full of gaping holes. Link to the Past, I still need to play one day. I've never played it.
Whoa, so many hot takes.
Oh, I know. I'm full of them. Everyone says I have terrible opinions, so it's fine. It's nothing new. But Link's Awakening is probably the best Zelda game I've ever played. I think that's like just a masterpiece from top to bottom. That alone would give the vote for me just for being in that era. The music's amazing. I hate stories in video games. I never care. And even that one got me choked up. And I was like, F me. There's like 3 lines of like cutscene in this, and it got to me. So like that's the sign of like an amazing game for me.
Yeah. If you're not aware, Jim is a huge JRPG fan. Loves them.
Love it. I love hitting A for 60 hours straight. I love it to death. It's not a waste of time at all. The stories are wonderful and not the same every fucking time. It's different. I love it so much. Thank God that's a genre that's so loved.
See, once again, it's a shame Donnie's not here because I feel like you two could go off and create your own like spin-off podcast of we love hitting A.
I think we're going to need to have you guys on and have this discussion. That's what I think needs to happen.
All right, let's do it.
But actually, yeah, for the late era of Zelda, I think they're cool, but they never held my attention that much. Like the most like love I have for any of them is like having my newborn sitting on my chest as I'm like just bashing through Hyrule Warriors, basically. Right. So besides playing a little bit of like 20, 30 hours of Breath of the Wild, but never finishing it off and like getting in trouble for walking around with my Wii, my disconnected Wii controller, and my wife going, what the hell is that? And me going, uh-oh, I'm caught. So with a new console that I bought. But yeah, I mean, I got to go with the old shit. I'm an old man.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Blue, what about you?
So Simon says, I was watching 2 different streamers stream Link to the Past just today. And my hot take is that the only reason that the first choice 87 to 93 won is because of Link to the Past. You take that out, that era is not nearly so fondly remembered. I enjoy the first Zelda. It is NES hard. And Zelda 2 is just... Zelda 2 is a piece of shit, in my opinion.
Oh, we're going to have words. Words will be had.
A Link to the Past saved that era. Actually, for the longest time, as this poll was running the past 24 hours, the 1998 to 2004 era that you were describing with Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and those kind of games, that was winning by a long shot. And once again, my favorite, the 2017 to current Breath of the Wild era, just got its ass handed to it, which I don't understand. And I think it must be a product of our particular audience who is actually voting in this poll, because those games sell like gangbusters. But every time we run a poll like this, they just get shit on. And I don't understand it. This is where everybody leaves the stream, but those are my favorite Zelda games because I love open world games. I sank so many hours into Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And I'm always tempted to restart them and play them again because there's just so much to do in those games. You can make your own fun. You can go wherever you want, do whatever you want. Tiken says Blue once again is correct. Thank you.
Please do not push it and expose her ego to more. She doesn't need that.
But I like it. So that was obviously my vote.
And I think you're right in the sense that without Link to the Past probably wouldn't change. But there's also part of me that thinks about like back in the day, Zelda was everywhere. So if we're talking about when it originally came out, I mean, there was like Zelda cereal, there was Zelda cartoons. So there is so much nostalgia for that, for a time that was simpler, that we enjoyed things more. You didn't have adult responsibilities. So I think maybe that has a lot to do with it.
Fair.
Objectively, I would say probably the most current ones are probably the best from a gamer experience, 100%. But that being said, like Link to the Past, I think it's probably in my top 5 games of all time. It's so well crafted, from just the smallest minute details to the overall gameplay and the story that's involved with it. It's just done really, really well. And then even, you can enjoy it again with the ROM hacks that they have and BS Legend of Zelda and all these things. So it's hard to look away from that to say, well, there's, the 2 games, Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, are better than that entire experience that we had from that era. So I get why people shit on your favorite era of Zelda, but I also understand objectively, probably current is probably the best. But I'm going to go with nostalgia because that's my thing. That's what I've always enjoyed it. I will say I really like the first Legend of Zelda. I know that you think it sucks, Jim, but it's a game that just, again, reminds me of, to your point, open up a copy of Nintendo Power, looking through it, trying to find all the different adventures in there. You can do the second adventure, all that shit. I actually never played Zelda 2 until I was older. I had heard how terrible it was, and then I played it and I went, I think people are being a little dramatic here. This isn't as bad as people have said it is. It's the only RPG in the entire series, so kudos to that one. But yeah, it's just something about Link to the Past, something about the Game Boy games that came out, that entire era just really kick-started this. I mean, without that, the current games in Ocarina of Time and all those don't exist. But I don't think that there's a bad era of Zelda games out there. I mean, you could make the argument maybe 2006 to 2015 where it got a little murky, but still there's a lot of fantastic games.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, how did 2006 to 2015 beat current?
What? Spirit Tracks, baby. Phantom Hourglass. The ones everyone talks about.
Twilight Princess with motion controls? Really? That's what we prefer?
That's what got me out of Zelda, I'll admit.
Your nostalgia glasses are clouding your judgment.
I think the grandmas and grandpas in your audience are forgetting about the meme potential of Tears of the Kingdom. So apparently they never saw the flaming dick tree monster from that game. Could have changed your mind.
Obviously, yeah.
I'll trade your motion controls for a flaming dick tree monster. Like,
and then you pay the extra $20 for your Switch too to have it done even faster with better frame rates.
There you go.
It sells itself.
Right, and an app that tells you where everything is.
And a demo for $10. Yeah.
They know you're coming.
Good Lord.
That's true. We can all we want, but we'll be there. We're going to buy it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like I bought the little handhelds, the one that looks like a Game & Watch system to play a game that I've played a million times before. But
right. And you're never going to play this big?
Never.
But it looks pretty
exactly.
on your shelf.
And it's sitting right up there. Just staring down at us.
That's actually how I played Zelda 2 and Link's Awakening for the first time. Was on that
really?
thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Kudos to you, because my eyes can't handle that. I'll tell you that.
I don't know how the hell I did it, but it just became laser focused. And it was a good way to sneak into places where I shouldn't be sneaking video game contests. So when it's yay big, it just goes anywhere. And it's way easier to see than the Game Boy Micro. So it just worked.
Right.
Church, PTA meetings, funerals.
No, 100%.
Exactly.
When your parents say, you've had enough TV time today, fine.
Now, if only I could put OnlyFans on it. Wait, what?
There's a way, I'm sure.
Love finds a way.
They can put Doom on everything, right?
Right?
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up the show. Thank you, everyone, for listening to episode 201 of Gamers Week podcast. And a big thank you to the Retro Game Club podcast, Love Retro BTW, Pixel Pawn Production Company, and absolutely the best podcast, A Work in Progress, for sponsoring this episode. Don't forget to check out their links in the show notes. If you want to connect with Gamers Week, follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky, Gamers Week PC. Watch us right here on Twitch at twitch.tv/Gamers Week podcast, where we will record live every Wednesday at 8:30 Central Time. Email email us at gamersweekpodcast@gmail.com. Visit our merch store at gamers-week-podcast.creator-spring.com. Or if you want to do it the easy way, follow the link in the show notes. And last but not least, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/gamersweek. Finally, since you made it all the way to the end of this episode, please leave us a rating and a review to let us know how we did. We really do value your feedback. And while you're there, consider subscribing on iTunes, Spotify, or your podcast platform of choice. Jim, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah. Ryan, Blue, always a blast. Like, always enjoy hanging out with you guys. And Donnie, too, I guess. That prick who's too good to be around for me. But
I guess, whatever.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's always a great time. We definitely want to have all of you guys back on our show. We'll be talking, get that all set up. Anyone out there who enjoyed my terrible takes for the last hour and a half, you can find me over at youtube.com. Drink a beer, play a game. Power Hour Podcast is also on Apple and Podbean. You can find us on Twitter or X, Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it, at A Beer and a Game. We're on Blue Sky, Threads, all those goddamn things. Just look for Drink a Beer, Play a Game. You'll find us. And also we have Patreon where you can find that Krusty Corner. So who wouldn't want that?
Krusty Corner is the real selling point.
It really is.
We will have links to all of Drink a Beer and Play a Game stuff in the show notes. So once you're done with listening to this, go ahead and check them out. As Jim said earlier, 330 magical, beautiful episodes for your ear holes. So don't miss out on that.
Fill your holes. Listen to us.
All the pegging. All right. Thank you guys for stopping by for today's stream. And we will see you next Wednesday. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Cheers, everybody. Did you see the trailer for that game Become that's coming out?
No.
No, but I'm listening.
Look it up. But the short story is you take this delightful, heartfelt adventure as a sperm getting injected into places, not always to places you expect. There's always twists. And you have to survive and fight your way to be the winner, the big winner. And it actually kind of looks like legitimately fun, too.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm interested just from this 10-second pitch. I'm in.
Is this live? Can you play this right now?
That's a good question. I think the demo's out. I don't know if the whole thing's out just yet.
We are going to play that on a Monday. Donnie is going to play that.
Donnie gets to put that on his computer.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, don't worry. We have a bonus segment on our Patreon called The Krusty Corner, where we talk about X-rated games and stuff like that. So great minds think alike.
The Krusty Corner. Why didn't one of you guys think of that and give it to our show?
Gotta be quick on the trigger, all right?
Well, I always feel judged.
It's quicker than me. My poor wife.
Thoughts and prayers.
Welcome to Gamers Week Uncut.
Welcome to Gamers Week Uncut.
Welcome to Gamers Week Uncut, patrons with benefits. This is the unscripted, patron-only bonus cast with less editing and more dirty jokes. We don't know where the conversation will go, but we're sure it will be weird.
This fish just went right on my nipple, and I'm just like,
I Google Street Fighter 6. The first search result that comes up is people think they can see Ryu's dick in the Street Fighter 6 reveal.
Listen up here, kids. You're not going to want to get one of those VD-STDs things, right? Make you fall off. When you go, grab a pro. You'll be doing it for America.
that was perfect.
If you want to hear weekly episodes of our patron-only bonus cast, join us at patreon.com/gamersweek.